Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I just wanted to get on here and make a video about stocks that I'm buying now that Donald Trump is going to be our next president. I want to begin this by saying, I'm not going to get into like political stuff. I don't care which side of the political spectrum you fall on. That's not what this video is about. This video is about trying to isolate stocks that we want to buy that are going to benefit from a Donald Trump presidency. Okay. And I guess the first one of these stocks that I want to talk about is Ford. And I think that legacy automakers are really going to benefit from a Donald Trump presidency. And I'll tell you why. I don't know if you guys have heard or not, but Trump is getting rid of the electric vehicle tax credit. Tesla and other electric vehicle manufacturers may take a step back under a Trump presidency, and that may actually end up destroying some of the smaller electric vehicle companies like Rivian. I think that ultimately it will benefit Tesla. But on a side note, there's a California law that required all vehicles sold, no vehicle will be sold with an internal combustion engine after 2030, right? So all vehicles have to be electric, which is a crazy law. I think that Trump has talked about getting rid of. Right, so you can kind of draw a parallel to how the legacy automakers or auto manufacturers are going to profit, right? So Ford is going to go up. I want to talk a little bit about the range. It's pretty easy to see. I held Ford stock for a very long time, up until recently, and I kind of just got tired of it going nowhere. But there is a pretty good range that you can buy here, right around like 950, right? So I remember back when the Japanese yen trade exploded and the stock markets kind of tanked earlier this year, July. Ford was at 950. I thought about buying it then and decided, I could put my money elsewhere. But if it got back into the nines, right, even let's say high nines, I would consider buying this, and I am considering buying it. Obviously in a Trump presidency, and then you can reliably sell it. I mean, it's got a pretty consistent range here. The last thing I want you guys to consider is the Trump tariffs, right? This is the potential downside to a Trump presidency. If he enforces tariffs, a large number of Ford and Ford stuff is made in Mexico, which means that when they import it into our country, there will be tariffs attached to them. I just want you guys to keep that in mind. Things may get more expensive. Ford vehicles may get more expensive. We'll just have to wait and see. But I do plan on buying some Ford stock and then some legacy automaker stock in a Trump presidency. The next one I want to talk about is RKLB. It's Rocket Lab, okay? And full disclosure, I own several Rocket Lab shares. I think I own some. They have my cost basis is like $9 on Rocket Lab, okay? So I've benefited greatly from the recent run up, but why I want to talk about Rocket Lab, it's kind of a funny thing. They've got a CEO named Peter Beck, and Peter Beck is an interesting guy. Yeah, he didn't go to college. He doesn't have a degree to my knowledge. The dude is just a smart guy. He's self-taught. He started working in as an engineer in a lab, but he started creating things like rocket packs very early on in his life. And the dude just plain loves rockets, which is kind of a crazy thing. My point is he's got a passion for the business, right? I want to buy stock in a company where the CEO does love what he does. But Rocket Lab as a company, as of May 2024, they've had 43 successful missions out of their 47 that they've attempted. Rocket Lab has the Neutron rocket system, which is similar to SpaceX's reusable rocket system. It's currently in the engine test phase. But during Donald Trump's first presidency, he created Space Force, right, which is like the latest branch of the military, I guess. And then, I'm sure you guys have noticed that he's got Elon Musk like as a very close advisor, a member of his cabinet. He's leading up the Department of Government Efficiency. But here is my sort of thinking about that, right? Elon Musk and Elon Musk's company, SpaceX, and to some extent Tesla, have or will benefit much more under a Trump presidency than a Kamala Harris presidency, right? And rich people endorse people for government positions in places, in situations where they're going to benefit, right? Elon Musk's companies are going to benefit from Donald Trump being president, is what I'm trying to say. And SpaceX, I think, is going to benefit greatly. To that extent, Rocket Lab is going to benefit greatly, right? That's the thinking here. Space is kind of the next frontier, to be cliche, and the monetization of space is going to take off during the next 4 years, right? Whether that is delivering things, like the satellite, the satellites that Elon Musk uses to do his internet, for example. The monetization of space is going to take off in the next 4 years, and I think that Rocket Lab and SpaceX are both poised to take advantage of that. And then the last one that I wanted to talk about here is Bitcoin, which has absolutely crushed the little glass ceiling that it's been in. Here's like the little range that I've kind of identified. I just moved my thing here. Yeah, Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin for a second. I've got a number of videos on my channel talking about Bitcoin and MicroStrategy, which almost hit 500 this morning. But several members of Donald Trump's cabinet, including Vivek Ramaswamy, J.D. Vance, who has over 6 Bitcoin, RFK Jr., who has publicly stated that he has a large majority of his wealth in Bitcoin. They've all got a stake in Bitcoin, right? If you look, Donald Trump has openly stated that he wants to look at a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the United States of America. They want to buy between 1 million and 4 million Bitcoin over the next 4 years. I think that's great. But here's how we can capitalize on that. We can front run the United States if we know they're going to buy, right? And you already see this happening right here in front of us. Look at this. The Bitcoin has been on a tear since November 5th. Look, I don't even have to, I don't even look. I know this is November 4th. November 5th, they know Donald Trump gets elected president-elect. Boom, look at the price action of Bitcoin, right? They know that this is going to be a Bitcoin-friendly administration. I know it. So I'm buying Bitcoin and Bitcoin derivatives. Now, I'm not buying miners. I'm buying MicroStrategy, and I'm buying Bitcoin. In fact, some states are battling the federal government currently. Like Pennsylvania has come out and said, we want to have a state strategic Bitcoin reserve. Donald Trump is trying to stop the individual states from front running the federal government, which is very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how that turns out. And then I think other nation states are already front running the United States from buying large batches of Bitcoin. You've got Senator Lummis from Wyoming, who is a laser-eyed incredible senator, but she is incredibly pro Bitcoin, and she has taken this upon herself to get this passed. In fact, she says it could offset 16 trillion of our nation's debt. My point here is that, Bitcoin is going to break out. This is my opinion. You've got members of the current government who have a stake in this, who are supporting Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole. I mean, this is the real deal. This is actually happening. To caveat off of that, I've made several videos about Semler Scientific. Semler Scientific currently owns 1,273 Bitcoin at an average cost of 69,682. Now, what I like about Semler Scientific, Eric Semler, the CEO or the owner of Semler Scientific, has called Michael Saylor. We've seen the price action of MicroStrategy, basically straight up. Okay. Look at this, straight up. Okay. I'll let this chart speak for itself. Eric Semler from Semler Scientific, this company right here, has called Michael Saylor and said, tell me how to do what you're doing with your company. Give me the Bitcoin playbook. Let me copy you, because the great thing about Bitcoin is a rising tide will raise all ships. If the price of Bitcoin goes up, everybody profits. It's not a secret. It's not something, it's not a trade secret that you don't want, you don't want, a competitor to find out. We want everybody to buy Bitcoin so that the price goes up. That's what these companies are doing. And these guys are front running nation states, individual states in the United States of America. They're front running organizations or companies like Microsoft, who or Apple, who at one point in the near future, in my opinion, will have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Like I said, I made a video about this, about Semler, when it was half the price, and that video did very well. You can go back and watch it. I talked about right back on their earnings, right here. I said, hey, it was literally this day. Look at Semler Scientific, and then boom, the stock doubled, right? Because they're taking their company and transforming it into a MicroStrategy-esque company. That's how you can benefit from Bitcoin and a Bitcoin derivative. All right. So, just a reminder, everything that I say here is financial entertainment. It is not financial advice. If you get financial advice from a stranger on the internet, that's weird. These are things I am doing. Thank you for watching my video. Hope you guys have a good day.